happy Easter, everybody. I hope you had a very, very good, nice holiday with your family, a nice dinner, and kept in remembrance what Easter was really, truly about. Kind of interesting, too, when I think about astrology, which we're fixing to go into. When I was thinking yesterday, about the holiday, I was thinking about, the resurrection and transformation and all that. And it I kept thinking about Pluto, There is going to be this change this month. It's going to be exciting, new beginnings. It's going to be really a different change on a lot of things. All right, so let's go ahead and go into astrology, because there's something I want to start off with that I'm going to do. Just show you something that is not shown, I believe, in the introduction to astrology, and what I was wanting to show you and let you see and be alert of, or take note on. If you are a regular subscriber, please give a thumbs up on the video and share the link to others. Newcomers, welcome. Please consider joining the channel by hitting the subscribe button. We would love having you here. So let's go ahead and jump over into the astrology and get going. All right, first thing I want to start with is this is yesterday, and it was in the evening, and I want to bring out something here on the chart. I can get my thing doing in the right direction. We have, I told you that the day lasts from sunrise to sunrise. It makes for a 24-hour day. The day was ruled by the sun yesterday, which means Sunday. Every time I'm looking at the charts, I don't have to. I can look up here and I say, whatever the planet's ruling, that's the day. It lets me know it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The night that I didn't have in the introduction to astrology, didn't show, was that there is a nighttime ruler as well as with the daytime ruler, and it's Jupiter in this instant case on Sunday. At the hour being at 8 o'clock, after 8, almost 8:30 last night. It was being ruled by Jupiter. Then there's the hour. This represents the 13th hour. So when you're looking at my astrology that I'm doing in my software that I use, there's many out there, but I particularly love the one I use because it gives so much. The hour is ruled by Jupiter, but it's also showing me it's the 13th hour of the day. And this changes as the ascending changes. If you'll look on the chart here, you can see where the ascending is. But as what is, it doesn't really show it here because the way I have my chart set up here, fixed signs. But Jupiter is ruling, it's the last thing that's up there, and it's ruling the day. It doesn't show, it only goes to Saturn. Okay, it goes from the sun to Saturn. And so it doesn't show the hour, whether, these outer planets like Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, they don't necessarily rule the hour. Or they're not put into here as considered to be ruling the hour because they're interpersonal planets. They rule the world in itself. They have their effect that they create in our lives. So this is just more or less what's ruling the hour for us, or you, or Cancer, or any of us. It lets us know what's ruling that hour, and it's only lasts a couple hours. about an hour and 59 minutes actually. Uh, and then it changes when the hour changes. So when I'm looking at these, whenever I'm doing astrology, even for myself, if I'm looking at it, I'm seeing whether it's nighttime. What's ruling the night? Is there some expansion, growth, or something here going on that a process of learning something as well, or adventure, whatever it may be. And then I look at the planet itself and I see where it's at, the house it's in, the sign it's in. Jupiter only lasts in a sign for a year, whereas Saturn lasts 2.5 years. So with Saturn, it's kind of a long-term thing going on here. The sun, it stays for 30 days in a sign. The moon, it travels every 2.5 days in a different sign. So each one of them has, the internal or inside planets, the inner planets, such as Venus and Mars and Mercury. They move a lot quicker. Mercury being the fastest of all of them, is closest to the sun. And then, you've got the other ones. Now, I'm going to bring out some information, too, as I'm doing the astrology and I'm going through it, because I'm fixing to change the time to where I'm actually what time it is here for me. Remember, everything that I'm doing is Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast of the United States. So it would be kind of like New York City time, New York time. So you'll have to adjust whatever I've got here, the time here, to your time. Okay? Like I think West Coast is 3 hours. The mountain area is an hour. I believe Texas is an hour. The Midwest, some places are 2 hours behind me. So everything that's going westward is a different time frame. It's all behind me as the sun goes over. So it's just a little thing I'm giving you there to let you know. So you'll have to, like I said, what country you're in, what state you're in, or wherever, you're going to have to adjust it to your time. Okay? So let's go ahead. But as I go through the astrology and I set the time where the actual time right now that I'm recording this, and we can talk about it. But my mind just went blank. I mean, Mercury's having an effect on me. It always does. I'm a Virgo, and I am ruled by it, and it really, every time, to some degree, it will have an effect on me. But when I move it to that time, you'll see that these will change. And we will be talking, I will be talking about what's to come. So let's go ahead. I want to start off in one place, though, first. I want to go back in time on the chart to March the 18th. Between the 16th, something probably started beginning for all of us in different areas. I know it did for me. You'll have to think back to that time, what was really going on. And this is going to be important to talking about Mercury going retrograde, because Mercury will be retrograde. It'll go stationary and retrograde at the beginning of starting today, April the 1st. And it will be going back to that same degree that I'm fixing to start out on the chart and show you. You can see here I have the event pool, and it shows where we're going to start on that day of March the 18th. And then we'll start going where actually things are going to be happening. But I want to talk about this because I think it's really important to look back and see where when planets begin to go retrograde, where are they going back to? What is it we have to reconsider? What is it we have to reevaluate? What is it we have to really look at? Because it's going to be very particular when we talk about the South and the North Node, because I use different ones. I don't use the true nodes, which deal with the moon and its position. The true nodes deal with the position, whereas the mean nodes deal with the life path, lessons that need to be learned, as well as I will show you. I'll put it. I got a ticker tape I did up that will show you. It'll have the meaning there, so you can read it, because I just don't want to keep repeating myself in every video. And so future videos, I won't be doing that. I'll just put the definition, the ticker tape up there, and you can read it and know what it means for yourself. Some lessons you can learn here. Okay? So let's go ahead and start where we are right now in time. Now, the day is Monday, because Monday, the moon rules the day. And the hour is Jupiter, and it's the 3rd hour of the day since the sunrise. You can see the ascending here, okay? And this ascending is showing you what has risen, what can be seen. Now, there's a lot of energy up here. But down here, there's only this mid Lilith, and I will go over and let's see, show you. That's what I mean by the ticker tape. This mid Lilith is different than the black moon Lilith, which is something hidden behind something. It's not showing something. This Lilith is connected to your inner shadow that we use to kind of hide something about us. But also the areas where you put your foot down. You set boundaries. You may express some anger here. It's also related to your authority, your sensuality, your sexuality. Okay? It has that connection sort of with the other, the black moon Lilith. But this is also where you openly resist or refuse to obey something. You're just not going to go with the grain. And you can see the aspects that are coming off of here with the midheaven. Now, we'll talk about this midheaven as well. With the midheaven, it's as above, so below. So, but what it is, it's your outer life. When we say as above, so below, is something going on in your outer life that is affecting your personal life in some way. You know, we're always influenced by others in some degree or another. So that's what the representation, you can learn that in the introduction to astrology as well. But the ascendant only lasts about an hour and 59 minutes, almost 2 hours in a sign. And so when I actually looking at the astrology, or if I'm doing tarot at the time, I have the clock running just like a regular clock. The time's constantly moving, so I can see what is up now, and then what is going to be maybe during the reading something shows up. So I'm really looking at this screen when I'm doing the tarot as well, so I can see where planets are. We also have the north and the south nodes, which we have the I have the definition for them that you can see here, and what these north and south node means. The mean nodes, like I said, these are symbols of an individual's life path, their personal growth, and also karmic lessons that need to be learned. And that karmic lesson is really connected with this south mean node. It's your past actions where karma is created, and where you may need to release something, secrete something, let something go. Really look at it, and maybe wherever the house it's in, where you may have to bring something in balance. And for you, Cancer, this is really dealing with something in your home area. Bringing in some sort of balance in here, or something still to learn in personal growth. We're growing all our lives. From childhood, from birth, we're still always constantly learning. Unless you're just a person that thinks you already know it all and don't need. Even the most intelligent thing on this earth still needs lessons to learn by their own past actions. And they may need to change something that's happening here or something changing in your home that needs to come to some balance that's going to happen on this total solar eclipse. Now, looking at this, I already see that Mercury has gone stationary. I'm looking at the time here. Got 1840. So it was basically after, I'm looking at this. Well, it went stationary. It was stationary. And because it had hit that 27 mark, and now it's getting ready. It's just sitting there. It's not going retrograde yet, but it will. And by 7:14 this evening on April the 1st, it will be in retrograde then. And it will be traveling back to that 15 degree. So let's go ahead and look at Mercury here, and I'll put it to the chart because I don't have a clock running now because I'm not really doing tarot, and I'm not looking at any astrology or anything like that as far as if I'm doing an individual thing. So let's apply it to this, and let's see where Mercury was at 15 degrees in your chart. The moon was in your house. Your ruler was there. Venus was exalted because she was in Pisces, and she was coming up on Saturn. And Saturn is that one that says, hey, Venus, you need to slow down. Saturn is kind of like, puts up limits. There's something here in society that was like, where you're going to miss something. It's in the second decan of Jupiter, and it also in the term belt of Jupiter. So you're going to miss some kind of lesson to learn here, or something where Jupiter's all about the expansion and growth. And with this connection to the South Node here, with the opposition to all this going on, is kind of like Saturn saying, put the brakes on, don't go so fast, because there's something here that is coming that is going to bring a change. So slow down and wait, because there's going to be something that's going to happen. Now, all this here that's going on with Mercury. Mercury was in an opposition with that South Node at that time on the 18th of March. And it began because this aspect entered in on March the 16th. That's why I said something between the 16th to the 18th that really, something started on the 16th, where there might have been some thoughts, there might have been some communication. I know a lot of people have been really focused on this total eclipse because of that devil's comet, which we don't have any reason to be afraid of it. That devil's comet, I know in astrology, some say that the tail of the comet, usually as it passes, it brings something in. And I know there's been a lot of talk about people just losing their mind, thinking kind of all kinds of things. But I know what happened in my case, there was something leading up that happened on that 18th in my case, because I had to think back. And other people I've talked to, I've asked them, what happened on that 18th? Did you get in an argument with somebody? Was there something going on as far as with Mercury thinking? Something maybe communication-wise? or planning something that maybe something got changed between then and then, or you agreed to, maybe possibly agreed to something. Excuse me. You possibly agreed to something here. Because we have a lot of the conjunction with Mercury conjuncting in conjunction with the ascending, what was coming up. Was this something here was really that needed to be healed for the future. You need to address something from the past because Chiron's there as well. All these were conjunct: Mercury, North Node, Chiron, and the ascending. So as the sun had already arisen, this was coming up on that day. So think back to the 18th of what happened, because when this retrograde takes place, and you can see it, it's something the way you were feeling. The moon was there in your house. This part of fortune or lot of fortune is called part of fortune or lot of fortune. What this represents and deals with, it's a point in an astrological chart that is calculated mathematically, and it's based on the sun, the moon, and the ascending together, their locations. And it's symbolizing the area of your life where one can either find happiness or success and fulfillment with a sense of abundance and well-being. So there's something here at this point of time that's dealing with the sun and the moon and the ascending, that you were trying to get this happiness, this fulfillment in your life, this abundance of something going on here. But maybe something here with past actions in the home, you needed to heal. It was a thing of healing something that created maybe possibly something in your 10th house. And the 10th house is that about your career or reputation or your professional achievement, your moral condition, your directions. I think a lot of this has to do with directions and life goals. Because I do see where there is a square from Neptune on this day. That was the 18th of March. That you had something here, if you took this and calculated it with what you were feeling, where it was, the sun was in Pisces, of what you believed and what you were feeling, because the moon rules you, and it also is connected with the tide. So there was something going on here, and the sun being in this conjunction, that it could have been you over glamorized something, you tried to, or there was something here with illusions that were negative because of something what you believe. So think back to that day. What was the purpose of this here? What was the exact purpose? Because the sun is the purpose. It's the enlightenment, bringing something out and seeing something that could have been, because Pisces is a negative sign. So was it something about what feelings you were feeling that needed to change? Because there's also, from this moon, there's a square. I was dealing with Chiron. It was conjunct with all this energy here. Something you may have been trying to achieve, because we have 3 squares dealing with the moon. and I'll show them to you. This was what was going on that day. This South Node squaring Mercury, or in opposition to Mercury. And it was because of what you were feeling. We also have a T-square here. Now remember, T-squares are where it shows stumbling blocks or something you're trying to build here. But it's up to you how you handle these challenges that's going to show what you're like on the inside. Are you going to result to something here in your past actions and handle it the same way? Or is there something where you're not realizing that you could really have an opportunity here, that you didn't realize it was really an opportunity that was being maybe presented here, that would really have, maybe brought in something better. But you're going to go now, and we also have with the T-square here, again, the moon with some sort of outside, there's something you was opposed to. You were in an opposition to something with your 7th house. And again, and it was all dealing with Mercury. It could have been something about communication. It could have been something about something you believed emotionally. And it was really, you were over maybe really with your imagination and thinking psychic ability or something here. Oh, you just knew something because you had a feeling. How many times have we had a feeling and we could kick ourselves in the butt because it wasn't real? Remember, Pisces can create illusions. It can take us down into the depths in that inner shadow of ourself and our mind that we don't want people to see, where we can create illusions, or our mind creates the illusion of something that's not real and that it's negative, that affects us psychologically. So look back and see what happened on that day. Now, we're going to go where Mercury is now, because you kind of got yourself caught in a sort of a trap here with this. Your own mental trap. Because your mind may have been overactivated because of your feelings. But now we're at here on today's day where we're starting this out, where Mercury is stationary. And like I said, by 8:14 this evening, or 6, I'm sorry. That's 6:14 my time. So look where you are on the West Coast, wherever you are. Remember, you're hours behind me because I'm ahead of you. This could change. On the West Coast, it would be like 3 hours earlier. So this could be at 3 something in the afternoon instead of by the end of the day. But there's something here with Mercury going stationary. And look where this lot of fortune is leaving. It's getting ready to go into Leo. Now, what I'm doing the reading for is Cancer Sun and Cancer Ascending. So you would need to check out your Ascending reading, whatever it may be, because these are general. These are subjective readings in the astrology, because I don't know what's in everybody's chart. All right. Now I do see that this was departing, and it was going to be going and move into, and this moves pretty quickly as well. And it's going to go into Leo here, and it's in your 2nd house. So there's something here where it's in an opposition to Pluto, okay? But Pluto is showing the opposition to something here. And this is in your eighth house about what you desire. So something here, and remember, Pluto is that planet of compulsive forces and unconscious nature that brings about great transformation and the ability to organize and deal with society. Is reclaiming one's power in some way. But you've got to be authentic. Can't be a phony and go out there and pretend to be something you're not. Because if you do, then whatever this lot of fortune is that's moving into Leo in your second house is basically the second house is dealing with for you it's Leo, so it's something about your free will here, but it's the house of what you have or what you would like to have in some way. Remember, something with children. Leo is all about children. It's courage, having courage at something to be maybe yourself and really gain some knowledge here. Because look where Pluto is. It's there with Mercury. Ooh. So it's kind of, what is the term I would use here? It's kind of letting you know, hey, you're going to be dealing with something here, and you got to have the courage to face something here that happened somewhere around that March the 18th. Because it's going to go back, and it's kind of reassessing or something here for you that you may need to go back over. And not only that, but it has to deal with can't talk. It has to do with Vista, which is all about that keeper of the spiritual plane. It represents the feminine creative energy that allows us to dedicate to our aspirations, our plans, and goals. It shows a nun-like devotion to either a cause, a project, a person, or a belief system. But it's, that's kind of really sacred to you. But you in this with this part of fortune, and Pluto's like, you got to have the courage here on something. And this quincunx, now this opposition starts today. And it's going to go exact because remember when this moves in here, we'll see where it's at right now. It's done already moved from the time I've got this evening, but right now it's here. So come this evening, it's going to be here. And there's going to be that opposition. It's going to move through this, and it's going to show up here. It's going to be departing and going into Leo by this evening. So there's something here that could benefit. I don't know. But it's letting you know there could be some opposition later on this evening to trying to control something here, or maybe you need to control something, maybe something you desire a lot. You got to have some courage here. And I'm talking about Vista because there's a quincunx here from Pluto over to Vista. Now this started or entered on March the 30th, which was 2 days ago. And it was exact or it's going to be exact with Pluto on April the 6th, which is, 5 days from now. It'll be in the same exact degree that Pluto's in. And then it will leave this vista, this spiritual flame, okay? And it's linked to this south node, because a lot of people, there's some astrologers who link that vista to Libra, just as Chiron is linked to Virgo. And this is going to leave on the 13th of April. So there's something here during this retrograde that maybe some plans or devotion to something, or because anytime it's a quincunx, it's a struggle. It's an inconjunct, where something is conjunct and two energies are feeding off of one another and they're working together, okay? An inconjunct means they're not working together. They're totally in this opposition to one another. And there's got to be some decision or some judgment or adjustments made that are needed between this energy, because they're so far apart. So I would say, do you have the power to do something here? Or do you have, or to rebuild something here, or change something here in a plan, a goal, something you are really been so dedicated to in some way that needs to be now reevaluated, and that's going to change. It's going to change your plans. It's going to change your goals, your aspirations, something here. And you got to have the courage to make the decision. And it definitely has something to do with this linking to what went on back on that 18th of March, because you're going to be reevaluating. You're going to be rethinking. You may change your mind completely, or you may reconsider something here. But it's going to go back to that 15 degrees, which is exactly the point of March the 18th. So what was going on between the 16th and 18th? This is real important, because this could create a new beginning in some way, if you make the right choices, if you do something here and make some adjustment, make some transformation to yourself, because this is what desired, maybe by others, because these three houses have to do with relationships that you are either a part of with others, or something they may be going on for them. Your moon is over here in your 7th house at this time. It could be with a partnership, or could be within a marriage, could be within something here that, with this Venus conjuncting with Neptune here, that's affecting you psychologically. I'm kind of, I got these words the other day, that when I was looking at the charts and everything, and I got this thing of the Little Mermaid syndrome. Okay? And it was like, because I'm looking at, Mars coming in conjunction with Saturn here, and we know that Saturn puts the brakes on. Saturn's all about limitations, restrictions. And Saturn is about where you learn to operate within the limits of society. I mean, and it's about fears and obstructions and limitations. It's also about the father or a teacher in some way. But when these two come together, and Mars being that energy of courage and the ability to take action on something, or the desire. Because remember, we're talking about here. It just came from here, from your house of desire, and now it's here, and it's coming across in this thing of what you believe. Because that's what Pisces is about, is belief. But it's in the ninth house, meaning that ninth house is exploring. That ninth house is psychology, religion, higher education, and it's very immutable. It's a higher mind. It's to expand the consciousness in some way. But it's like, this is not good. Why? Because they're both malefic. Malefic. These two planets, when they conjunct, it's like the general or the father meets the son, right? Or the general meets the subordinate, the warrior. So when these two come together, what is your subconscious leading you to believe? Because like I said, Pisces is what you believe. What is making you believe something here in your subconscious that could be evil, malevolent, I can't get it out. Malevolent. I can't get that out. Malignment, maleficent, maligning, maleficent. Those two coming together, aligning together to either create something harmful or evil in intent or effect. So what is going on here? Something is, when these two are conjunct like they are, and they're feeding off of each other, and it's your subconscious, that inner shadow, I kind of wonder, and this higher mind or whatever, what is tricking you here? And like I said, I felt like it was sort of are you coming across somebody, or I don't know if it's you or if it's somebody else, but we do know definitely you and Pisces here has a connection to this moon. So is somebody here, and you have the belief in a partnership or a relationship, a marriage, or something here, that you believe they're doing something against you or against the relationship, or are you doing something against the relationship that's causing it harm because of what you believe, psychologically believe? Because this moon ain't in your house, it's not here, it's over in the other person. Now, this is what I kind of call that sort of that Little Mermaid syndrome. Remember when the Little Mermaid, she met the prince, and she was just adored by him, okay? She my Prince and Charming has come, she had all the things she found under the sea, and she adorned herself and all these things. But remember, there was that sea creature, I can't remember her name, big, heavy, with all the tentacles and like a big octopus or whatever, but she was evil. So what is this that's really down deep in here that is coming together, that's activating something here with the emotions? Because these sextiles are going to leave today or tomorrow. One's going to leave. One is going to leave. The one that's like with Mars, the moon, this person to Mars, whatever action they may be thinking about taking, okay? or that you're thinking about taking against them. But I feel like it's them because the moon's there. They feel like you're doing something maybe to harm them. Or somebody here is using emotions to trick you into believing something here. Could be while you're out, you're maybe exploring, because remember the ninth house is that higher mind. It's a philosophy, it's a religion, it's something here, a higher education or something here. This could be leading with something in your career, or you feel like something here because they're connected in some way. This is the next house. Or that they feel like you may be, because Venus is connected to you too. And she's coming up in conjunct with Neptune, which is who? That real underworld thing where she kind of meets the father and he's like, oh, where are you going? Because it's both of it with Mars. And so it's over here. This could be kind of going against authority as well, or going against society in some way. I mean, but in an angry way. You see what I'm saying? It could be like you don't agree with somebody else's belief. Instead of saying, well, that's what you believe, I believe what I want to believe, okay? With this Mars energy here, it's almost like getting angry. And I got to look at something down here about something, with your past actions in opposition to all this conjunction energy here. I'm just wondering. But somewhere along here, there's somebody going against the grain, or really doing something here that can be harmful. They can be or evil in their intent, either towards you or you towards them. I don't know. But it's taking something in action, because we know Mars is action oriented. But it's kind of like when Mars is hitting Saturn, these two energies where there's limitations. I mean, you angrily maybe, or the other person and what they're feeling, maybe they're not having a good day. They're hitting this mark of Mars as well. And there's something here about the growth, and with Venus and all that, somebody may really be trying to be nice to you or something, but all of a sudden you may take it another way. Oh, what does this person want? And you just put your hand up and say, no, I don't believe anything you say. I don't believe anything you do, because it's action. So there's an influence here of the illusion or the appearance of something here that's on the rise. And if you put your foot down, all right, or if you do something here, because this is connected, the Lilith here, this mid Lilith is in conjunction, that is using something here in Virgo that says, hey, look, you need to heal something here. And the exact time that these two come together is going to be, that was on March the 10th. And this energy is going to leave about healing on April the 17th. And I feel like that's going to be somewhere when the Mercury gets over here and you're going to realize you made a mistake. because of the action you possibly took or the action that someone else took against you. There's a mistake underlying here somewhere in somebody's past actions that are not learning lessons. I'm just going to put it that way. There's something that, because we're talking about now with the 12th house, which is karma. 12th house is all about karma. And it's Gemini. And it's dealing with Mercury. So something here, and like I said, that midheaven is whatever's going on out here in the social realm or your career wise is affecting you down here. Or either that you are affecting it by your own action. You're creating the karma. So watch out what you do and what you say. Think before you act. Is this really what I want to believe? Do I have, like I'm saying, people should not be going out and accusing other people of something unless they've got the proof of something. And this day is ruled by the moon. And the hour at this time, by the 11th hour, this evening, is ruled by Mars. I'm telling you, be cautious today. Really. Now we have Venus is going to enter Aries on April the 5th. And there's some activation here to Pluto, and the moon being in here in Aquarius. This is 3 days before the total eclipse. And the ascending being here in Sagittarius. Remember, this is what's over here coming up, rising up. This is this is right after midnight. 10 seconds after midnight, there is an aspect here of a square of Mars to the ascending. And they enter exactly on April the 4th is when this energy began, or going to begin. And their exact aspect's going to be on April the 5th, which is as Venus on this day. As the sun rises, or whatever's rising, that house is rising, that sign is rising, there's something coming up. That there's a challenge, there's a blockage, there's something going on. And this is on Thursday. And it'll be at nighttime, ruled by the moon, and the hour will be the sun. This is right before the total eclipse. So it's telling you, and I know that total eclipse is going to come through Texas, and it's going to go out. So it's forewarning you about something. Now, I remember what happened to me back when that total eclipse of August 2017 came from Washington State or Oregon and that West Coast, and it came down and it went right over my head, and I'm standing there looking at it, and I felt this gloom and doom. It was a new beginning. It was a new beginning of Hades and hell for me. And I'm not going to say this is going to be for everybody, but you think about that devil comet that's going too. And what's going to come out of that. That it's having some influence with this as it goes between the earth and the sun. So, and there's that opposition again. This is the other person, the seventh house, the partner, the marriage, could be even an enemy you know of that could be affecting what you here with Vista, your plans, your devotion, your belief system, your calls, whatever it is. And look where it's going in, the first camp, which is Venus. And turn belt Mars. So where is it aspecting to? Venus and Pluto. I mean, you got to look at these things and you got to see it. And I always look at the quincunxes and the challenges, the oppositions, because these are things where we have to make adjustments. We have to change plans because this has something to do with your first house. And it is affecting something about you going through some sort of transformation here. And what you believe, what you're allowing yourself to deal with. And this is coming out of your fourth house. And this is your south node. So this is your past actions. And remember, Jupiter will eventually move here into this 12th house. So are you going to have, because this eclipse is going to be dealing with, they usually say eclipses, however long the eclipse lasts for the hours, will last for the years. And I think this one's going to last anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. So we're talking about it's really being influenced by Saturn. Because Saturn it deals in a sign for 2.5 years of limitations, restrictions, and something here. And with Jupiter moving into this house, and Mercury's going to be coming here too, and we do have retrogrades, it's going to start up probably by the end of the month. I mean, I don't know the exact day on this. When I know Pluto has 27 days left, so it'll be sometime 27 days and 13 hours that it has left. So around the 27th, the end of the month, Pluto's going to go retrograde, and that's going to start this change. So you may be noticing things that that's going to take place during the retrograde. You're going to go back over things coming into this month. The retrogrades all begin. Then the next thing we have happening on the 8th is the total eclipse that's going to take place. And look at the opposition to the south node. And look, these two right here, coming together. I'm not too thrilled about these two coming exact. Because this, like I said, it's entering on that April the 3rd. It began on April the 3rd, so make note of that day. And they're going to come exact on April the 16th. Or they're going to come exact, yeah, in the degrees. Mars will. Or Saturn. Saturn's going to come into exact with that south node, where you may be restricting something, limiting something, or something in the home life, the family. Something may go out of balance. You feel like everything's just kind of just flipped upside down, or one side is heavier than the other. Something just doesn't seem like it's in balance, and it's due to your own actions, your own plans, your own, something you're devoting yourself to. And it's also with Mars, because this, with this lot of fortune, there's conflict here. That's going to be ascending. And this could be with children. This could be in love affairs. Leo, what all it deals with and everything. And this is to what you, in what you have. Second house represents what we have, what we value. There's conflict there going on. I mean, look at the quincunxes that are there. And this is dealing with Mars to the lot of fortune. But it's also Saturn dealing with what's going on here in the ascending. There's going to be some limits to something here. And you've got to make, this is not a good combination. I will tell you that. And you're going to have to really cling to faith here and believe in not illusions, but spiritually really believe in something here. And maybe even saying, okay, what would Christ do in this situation? Do I feel sometimes people can be spiritually attacked, evil by an evil? Yes. So this would be sort of a day that I just would stay out of the sun, stay out of the public. And work on healing yourself for the future. Maybe healing something here. Maybe there's a new beginning in work or career. Because look at all this energy that's sitting in this 10th house. Talk about a stellium. And Mercury's only moved 3 degrees backwards. And it's still got a ways to go before it gets back over here to that north node, when it comes in between the north node and the sun. Right now, well, let's see. This north node is at the same degrees of where this Mercury is going to come back to. So it is about your future. And there's an opposition here to all that energy together, combined. That's saying, hey, there's something here you need to change from the past. I don't know if it's your past actions or whatever it is, but this is your house, your 11th house of friends, social groups, or something here. I don't know who you're dealing with or what groups you're involved in, or but this energy with Jupiter is affecting Uranus, which is Uranus is, there could be a potential for growth here, but maybe you need to get with the right people. I don't know. Maybe you need to really, because of the moon, Jupiter being in that second decant, dealing with the moon. You may really need to look at partners, people you're getting involved with. I hope you're not making enemies here. But something here definitely is going to change. Your world is going to change, because when this right here, Pluto, or not Pluto, Jesus, Lord help me, Jupiter, goodness gracious, couldn't even think about it. It's going to come at first 21 degrees, which, if you know in Terra, the 21 usually has to deal with that world card. And it also has to deal with, it's going to go at 22 degrees. And there's definitely maybe something here that's got to be healed in your 11th house. Or it's going to change. Your environment's going to change. And it's going to affect something here in the home life and in your 3rd house, the way you communicate. Something about healing. Something about your daily activities. But you got to remember, too, when this goes retrograde, it's going to be at 2 degrees. And I know it's going to affect me really, really, in a way, I hope a good way, because I know that Pluto was at 2 degrees in my chart in Virgo. And it's going to have an impact on me here of what I desire. And it's going to go back into Capricorn for you in the 7th house. Where it'll go to 29 degrees. And then after it starts going direct again and it moves back into Aquarius, it's going to be there for the next 20 years. So if you're, if you're thinking of a marriage or a partnership in business or something here, and you may be thinking about leaving someone and saying, I'm done with this, I'm through with this, or whatever this may be, I'm saying don't throw caution, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater for sure, because you may be spending the next 20 years rethinking something here about what you believed all along. I'm just kind of saying, because like I said, there is this new beginning. And I hate the fact that Mercury's going retrograde during this whole time, that you need to reassess something here that really started around March the 18th, the 16th to the 18th. I mean, it came out on the 18th of March. And then it's going to come back through all those places that it's been. It'll go straight back to that 27 degrees. So work it out. Whatever it is, put the work in. Have the courage to face something here. I mean, this is a lot of energy here. And I know, with this being conjunct, you're still bringing something in to Aries of that energy when it was conjunct with Neptune here, subconsciously. Trying to make something positive here. So heal what you're going to heal. Make sure you do the healing work for yourself. And as far as with whatever's got to go on that needs this healing, these wounds. Don't bring up, I told someone the other day that, hey, I feel like I'm sitting at a red light and I want to go forward. But right at this point in my time in life, I'm looking at things like, do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go back? And I'm like, I don't want to go back to the way things were. The last 7 years have been hell. I don't, and I saw from where hell began and started and what it's led up to all these years. I don't want to go back to that anymore. I want life more simple. I want things easy. Nothing is really easy, but yet I don't want to deal with chaos. I don't want to deal with drama. I don't want to deal with people's negativity. I just don't want that around me anymore. I want to stay focused to going ahead, moving forward. I don't want to get diverted off my path. And I don't want to let anybody divert me off my path. So I'm just sitting in this position at the red light, waiting. And my engine's running. It's ready to move forward. And I don't want to run out of gas either, but I feel like I am. And I explained this to someone. So I need to know what's going on here. Or do I need to just start going? Put my foot on the accelerator and start moving. You do your thing, I'll do mine, and I wish you the best, or whatever. But I need to know, because I don't want to sit here anymore. But I don't want no chaos. I don't want no negativity. I don't want no gossips and all this. I just don't want it in my life anymore. So a lot of people may be at that point in their life as well. Now the sun's going to ingress into Taurus here. And I really did, during that solar eclipse, I saw no major aspects. But now that the sun is moving into Taurus, I do see some. Okay? So let's take a look at them. The first one I'm seeing is this T-square. All right? And this has to do with Mars in an opposition to Lilith. Maybe, this has to deal with what you believed at one time. Getting that higher spiritual connection. I don't believe in. Stay away from occults or people who are into all that stuff. Stay away from that stuff. But thinking more of what you're really fighting for, that you believe in, a vision, a goal, because there's something here coming up, and this apex is dealing with this ascending, something coming up that you're thinking about, and it's got to deal with Mercury. Mercury's only 2 degrees left. Mercury rules Gemini, and look, what did I say about the 21? With Jupiter and Uranus, there's going to be a change. And I hope for you it is a positive change. But it's got a lot to do with Saturn as well. And Saturn is conjoined still with Mars. And your moon is in opposition. I mean, if you're gonna put your foot down and say, I'm not healing nothing with nobody, that's not a godly way to act. You got to show forgiveness. Because that person, if you don't forgive them, they will never be forgiven. Spiritually, you need to forgive something here. And stop fighting and opposing it, because it's doing nothing but bringing something into your daily routines. It's affecting that. It's affecting any positive side in your home life. I mean, come on. You got to figure this out. That's the only way you can get success out of anything here. And I think about my mother. She's a Cancer. And I know, she's health-wise is not good. She's got the spirit in her. I know she does. But, she's having issues. I'm hoping that she gets a lot better during these summer's months. And we have, with this T-square, we really got to look at this, what's coming up. And I do see something very spiritual, that where there could be some success here. I mean, these are two, Venus and Mercury. It's like getting forgiveness and giving forgiveness. And then that creates the healing, and then let it go. And this is where you get fulfillment in your home. I don't know what is going on there in the family and the home life, but this is like the family. There's nothing here in these two, but I know Mars that rules this and Pluto that's ruling this, and now it's at 2 degrees, and it's going to be going retrograde and going back to 29 degrees. So it's time to just, really forgive what needs to be forgiven and ask for forgiveness. And we have 2 yods, which is the finger of God. And look where it's pointing to. A yod is a form of a sextile, and this is Mars to Jupiter. And a sextile is something where there's an opportunity for you to have some success. But in order to do so, you have to activate your mind to look to that success and those opportunities. You have to talk in a positive sense. You have to get around positive people, not negative. Maybe there's some people you're around that are very controversial, and you need to stop. Stop arguing. Stop fighting. Let them believe what they want to believe. Let them do as they do. Then you do as you do. We have, and then what else is on here? And this is going to leave. The center's on April the 11th. It entered this yod, or this sextile entered or began on April the 11th. Is going to be exact on the 19th, which is this day as the sun moves into here. Something's going to come into illumination. I hope not frustration. Do away with frustration. Let something awaken you and illuminate to you what the issue may be here, because Mercury's still retrograde. And this is going to leave on the 27th, right before Pluto goes in that, or around that same time that Pluto will be going stationary in retrograde. Because remember I said it would go around the 28th, 7th? Yeah, 27th. And then we have another yod that deals with Mars to Uranus. Mars is the initiator. Okay? But is someone here doing something that is harmful in what they believe and trying to get you to believe it? Are you in with the wrong group of people? I kind of feel like this. I guarantee you one thing: I will watch over my mother very close during this time to make sure, because we got the quincunxes. Like I said, yods are made up of a sextile that something here is being initiated. Something's being activated. Something here is wanting success. Are you going to give it to them? If they're, you ever been around people that try to goat people to get them to do something? And sometimes it cannot be, not in a good way. They're just trying to get you angry. And anger is a sin. Let the anger go. Do not let people provoke you into something here. And I know some people, I've been working on that myself, is not letting people provoke me to get angry. I just got to get up and walk away from them, and I've been doing pretty good at it. And we've got the 2 quincunxes, and quincunxes, like I said, those are energies that are not working together. Remember, in conjunct. There's no fulfillment in something here of a past action or something in the past. It whatever it may be. But there's something here, definitely somebody's trying to get you to change something. And I don't know what that may be. But it's also dealing with Mars sextiling Uranus. And it's like rebel. It's like rebel energy to me. In your family, your home life. If you have people in your home that has a tendency to all of a sudden get angry for some reason, give them space. Don't antagonize them, because you'll get there's no good in that. But this is like the finger of God that's kind of warning you and showing you something here. And now this is only 2 degrees off from where it's going to go stationary at 15 degrees with this north node. And then it's going to start coming back. Anytime. And also while Mercury's retrograde, I'm going to say, don't make any major agreements. We all know that. Don't sign documents. And if you have to, make sure you read all the fine print. If you're publishing something, check it, recheck it, whatever. Go back over it and over it so you know you're very confident that it's okay. Always look at things. And it's like telling you here with something in Gemini and this sun moving out of Aries and moving into Taurus. That you may very well need to check things here. Check your own actions. Don't create karma. And this is, again, the 12th house is a house of karma. And it's due to your past actions. So watch your actions. Limit what you do. If you're not doing something that's of a good cause and you're not keeping yourself busy, burning off any energies that you feel antsy, or whatever, where you might feel confusion or something here, because again, Mercury, as it goes retrograde, things from the past come back up. Guarantee you, whatever was going on around the 18th is you're going to have to work through this. But you're not alone, because apparently, with the divine, I believe very strongly in this yod that when it points, it's from our creator that's showing us you're not going to get any fulfillment out of this, of doing something here, or whoever it is. There's a protection around you. If anything that's trying to create maybe some harm. Let's go into the full moon of Scorpio. Now, this is your ruler of Scorpio. It's right with the ascending, and it is a grand cross. So this is going to be a very challenging day, because you can see all the T-squares right here that make up this grand cross. This grand cross is dealing with the sun. It's dealing with Leo here in midheaven, what's going on up here. Your outer life might be trying to influence something in your family. All these signs these are in: Taurus, fixed sign; Leo, fixed sign; Scorpio, fixed sign; Aquarius, fixed sign. Something here is a habit that needs to change, that is causing some really big issues. Is there jealousy? Is there resentment? Something here needs to be addressed, or habits. Anytime we're talking about fixed signs live in habits. They're creatures of habit. They will do the repeated same things over and over again. And we're talking on April the 23rd. Look what's ruling the day. It's a Tuesday. Look what's ruling it. Mars. What is Mars conjunct with now? Not conjunct with Saturn anymore. Being restricted limited. But now it's connected with Neptune. And what is a Neptune? And we're talking about in a sign that is sort of a negative energy sign. In the subconscious. Illusions, delusions, negativity, over glamorizing something here. Glamour and illusions are negative. And this is something about your highest idealism. I mean, you can be very creative here as well. I mean, there's some, but there's something here. You got to put your foot down about something here. Maybe with neighbors, maybe with, because that third house deals with, a lot when it comes to communication or connecting. But it's just something in your daily routines. You're a creature of habit, of daily routines here, that something needs to stop. When it comes to you, this is all the self. This is all the family. This is all about relationships. This is all about spirituality. Because each one of these, if you break it down, look at it. The apex is the sun. Something here, up here, is creating some sort of transformation in your life, in your private life, in you. Then we have this one. Again, the apex is dealing with your outer life and becoming illuminated to something here in this full moon that is rising in the family, in your family life, your home, family, children, fun, creativity, all these things. And for you, the family life is balance. Having balance in the home, having everything in order, like wheels, and it's also Scorpio. This house of Scorpio, or the sign of Scorpio, the fifth house is about love affairs, romantic attachment, self-expression, creativity, art, drama, children, pleasure and play, and speculation as well. But it's the house of Scorpio, and what does Scorpio deal with? Death, regeneration, sexuality, secrets, occult, and power, shared assets, financial legalities, and wills, having all things in order. And look where they're sitting at, right there in Mars. And what rules Mars is Pluto, and Pluto is going to be going retrograde, and it's going to be coming back into your seventh house. So something up here is definitely affecting something in your family and home life, and with yourself, you in your outer life. Then we have the T-square over in these houses dealing with relationships. What you desire in relationships. Again, that full moon, something coming up with an opposition here. Pluto being that there is going to be some sort of major transformation here. A regeneration, possibly. I don't know. Because we do know this is going back into the seventh house. partnerships and relationships and marriages. And we also had the T-square again. Don't let your private life be influenced by your outer life. This is choices you've got to make, but make sound good choices. Think really before you act. Now, Mercury is showing this, and it's going to go stationary here, but it's retrograde during this, so you're going to be revisiting these things. These things are going to come up. And then we have the T-square with the sun, again, opposition to the ascending with the moon. Something emotional coming up. Okay? Now, on the 25th is actually when Mercury is going to go stationary. And you see it at 15 degrees. Stationary and direct. And it's creating some aspects there as well. Now we have the mystical rectangle, meaning we don't know where these come from. It's like something happens, and I feel like it has a lot to do. And when I did a little research on the mystical rectangles, it's called Lucifer's rectangle. And now I'm wondering, with Mars being here so close to, in conjunction with Neptune, what influence is having something on your actions? Mars and Mars and Mars. I mean, strong Mars. And, Jupiter now is at 22 degrees, so it's something like a cycle. Keep your faith. I mean, every time something really starts going bad in my life, that I have no control over, I just turn it all over to God and says, God, so many miracles has happened in my life that I have to say, I've got to put it there in the hands of God, because my faith is so strong. I am a very strong faith person and belief. And this would be sort of that day that, hey, there are some T-squares there, and there's these mystical rectangles that things seem to be coming up out of nowhere. And mystical rectangles deal with 2 trions and 2 sextiles. But in this case, there is opposition here. And there's opposition here. You don't know where it's coming from. It just comes in like it's being activated some way by an action, created by an action or an illusion, appearance of an illusion. Don't give in to something here that you know is wrong. In this case, usually, a lot of times it's like, it's 2 sextiles, and then it's 2 trions on each side. And usually there's nothing here. That means it's pretty good. It's something really good. It's going along smoothly. Everything's going fine. But when we're seeing these oppositions here, and it has to deal with Mars, and there's something about with something hitting its peak. I mean, its cycle is done. Whatever it is, it's done. I don't know if there's something. This for me as a spiritual person would tell me that something has tried to tempt you into something here that you know is wrong. You know something you're doing may be influenced by something in your outer life or people. Get yourself away from people this month, and I feel like this is for all of us. Get away from people that have a lot of negative energy around them. If they can't be positive, and let the other ones know. If you're going to be so full of negativity, I can't be around you. I don't want to be around you. Don't try to influence me into your garbage. Don't be angry about it. Don't be ugly about it. Just say, I want no part of this. You're going to be ugly about nothing. But then we have the T-squares that really, again, it's your outer life here. And it could be people that just finally at the end of all this, you can't have expansion and growth with them. It's these friendships or these something here in this 11th house, you know, you don't think like them, that you don't want to get involved in the joint activities with them because something here is nothing. It's going to maybe even shake up your growth or whatever, of learning something here, because there's something here in opposition. And like I said, you're ruled by the moon here. And this is something like the first, this is dealing with, uh, again, fixed signs. Something of a habit that's got to be broken. Another T squared. This time it was with Jupiter. This time it's with Uranus. Something's got to change here. And then we have your 6th house of daily routines. You take care of the small animals. You feed the dog. You clean the house. You change the bed. You do whatever you do of your daily routine. Make sure you do something of good here, which will bring you fulfillment. Do something healing for yourself. Because this is at 22, and look what's up here. It's like this cycle of resistance to something. I don't know what it is, but maybe you need to put your foot down on something about this. When it comes to certain things that with other people's actions, or their philosophies, or maybe, their religion. I would never get myself involved in an occult in any way. And I can usually point them out pretty quick. I can go to a church and even tell you this is not a good church. Stay away from it. And then we have the day is Jupiter, but we have the hour is Mars. And it's the second hour of the day. And it's, dealing with Mars here. So let's go back over. I want you to see those aspects. And like I said, Mercury is going stationary. So hopefully by then you can resolve whatever this is that's been going on and take yourself out of that picture. Venus now ingresses into Taurus, which she will be exalted. Now, this I love. I tell you why, this is like the turnaround. If you work through whatever this is that's been going on, and you do it in a positive way, a caring, nurturing way, loving way for yourself, when Venus comes in conjunct with Jupiter, we're talking about benefic energy, positive energy, good energy, where you will reap something very, very wonderful. Because when we talk about two planets, and it's benefic, I have trouble saying that sometimes, effect, this is where it's helpful, useful, or good. It's an advantage. It's a benefit gained. It's a positive impact. It becomes a perk, something that you could really positively use. This is where the turnaround begins. Even though there is a T-square here, and this is something with that can become very good fulfillment for you, a change in a fulfilling way, because this is going to go retrograde, because the apex here happens to be the moon, but there is a square to Mercury with an opposition to the south node, and the moon squaring something here in the past. Don't take these past karmic things with you in the future. It's time to shed those habits. Time to shed those things of action, like we would handle things the same way. And this Saturn here being in an opposite or in a quincunx and in conjunct, remember these energies aren't working together. But it's time for the conjunction of Chiron. Mercury and Chiron is now to finally speak of healing. Let's work on the better, the wounds. Let's heal the wounds. Let's go for the success. Let's fulfill whatever there may need to be something here addressed when it comes to what you're going to devote yourself to. Because this is that, and it's going to have to be something here that deals definitely with this energy that's going to be very successful, very good, very beneficial, advantage for you. And it has to do with earth, okay, healing, communicating in more of learn to communicate in a more healing way, a more positive way. And bring balance in the home. Not struggles, not conflicts, nothing like this. Work out the wounds. Heal them. So the last thing here is Mars will ingress into Aries, where it will rule into its rulership. And I find this really interesting because we have Neptune here that is a rulership of Pisces. Now, as Mars moves into Aries, it's in his house sign of rulership. We also have Venus, where she rules Taurus, and she's exalted here. So we're going to have 3 planets here that are in their house of rulerships, or their signs of rulership. Not their houses, but their signs of rulership. So that's good. That's a positive thing. And I don't see any major aspects here other than, I'm seeing a conjunction of Mercury with Chiron, still thinking about communicating, healing something here. And we also have conjunction of Mercury to the midheaven. So there's something here in your outer life. I would still say with the South Node, you've got to work on something here. You got to take the lead, because Libra's a cardinal sign. You got to lead the family into a better healing position of really expressing we don't allow outside influences to cause harm in the home or disruption in the home. Keep this outside interference out. If it's not coming in to bring healing and want to work at healing, don't let it in the door. I always say you don't let the devil in your house. Because once you do, you got hell in your life. And remember, we're ending on a day that Mars is ruling and the hour is the moon. And it's coming into conjunct with Neptune here. The moon is. Now, this hasn't gone stationary retrograde yet, but it will be going. I believe it's May for sure. Only thing retrograde and direct this month is Mercury, the big thing. Now, yeah, Pluto will be going retrograde on May the 2nd. So I know it's coming. So, like, yeah, it only has 2 days left. So that would be 2 days left, 2 days and 2 hours. So 2 days and 2 hours would make it on the 2nd of May. All right. So with that, again, you subscribers, if this helps anyway, please give a thumbs up for the video. and share the link with others. Newcomers, you're quite welcome. We're very pleased if you'd consider subscribing to the channel and joining the channel. And we would love having you here. Okay. Also, check out the introduction to astrology. And remember what I said, that the day is ruled by, the whole 24 hours is ruled by a certain planet. But then the night is also in conjunction with the day ruler as well. Okay. So check it out. Give me your feedback. You're free to comment below and let me know what you think. Okay? So, y'all take care, and I'll see you the next time.